But see, one thing that you have to understand is, man, the losses have handles too. They do. And just like the wins, dude, you got to learn how to handle the losses. Don't hold on to the losses. See, you got to learn to process it. And the way that you process it is with the next mentality. When we win, we tend to start looking for the next win, right? But when we lose, we think that we can't win again. Isn't it funny how long that we hold on to the losses, but we handle the wins? You know, when we win, it's like winning one of those, you remember those, as a kid, one of those cup trophies? And those trophies, they were a little cup and they had the handles on the side. And so you grabbed the win, you grabbed the trophy by the handles and you proudly showed it off to everybody. And then you walked into Big Mama's house and you held it by the handle and you put it on her shelf, so that way when her neighbors, when her friends came over to play bridge, they could take a look at the trophy and she could show it off, but you were already out the door looking for the next win. But see, we hold on to the losses for far too long. The losses are like this big cannonball, this iron cannonball, or whatever the hell it's made out of. It's held into your hand. So life hands you this big loss, this big cannonball, and you don't know what to do with it. So all you do is you just hold on to it. But see, one thing that you have to understand is, man, the losses have handles too. They do. And just like the wins, dude, you got to learn how to handle the losses. Don't hold on to the losses. So you got to learn to process it. And the way that you process it is with the next mentality. Literally, dude, when you lose, just like when you win, you say next. You're looking for the next win, or you're looking for the next loss. And so you just got to say next. And so with the losses, man, you got to put some handles on that thing. See, if you have handles on something, then all of a sudden that gives you leverage, right? So when it's got something that's a handle, you can yank that thing around. You can yank it left, you can yank it right, you can yank it to the side, you can yank it up. You have control over that thing. But see, if you don't put any handles on that thing, it's this big iron blob weighted, and all you're doing is you're sitting there holding it. When you win, it's hard when you win. It's hard to analyze the loss when you win unless you have a coach that points out the losses. So generally when we win, we tend to go on to the next win. But really when we win, you know, the advantage that you have when you have a coach, like when I was playing college football, even when we won, I had a coach that would break down the game film and say, Marsh, look, yes, we won the game, but let me show you the blown block, the parts where you missed, you didn't even run the right play. You were beat on this play. You missed your block on this play. See, he pointed out the different losses on those things, but when you're winning, man, you generally don't even do that. You don't even look for those things. So there's incredibly valuable resources in the losses itself. But you won't learn to even analyze those losses if you don't put some handles on that thing. See, if you put some handles on the losses, what you're able to do is, even when the losses shake your confidence up, just like one of those snow globes, man, they shake it all up. Even when the losses shake up your confidence and they strip you of your ego and they let you know, hey bro, you're not quite as good as you think you are. Because you have handles on it, you're able to deeply analyze that thing. You're able to focus and zero in a little bit more and say, this is where it is. I see the disconnect. See, the losses are that natural coach. When you have a win, unless you go to somebody and say, look, man, I know I just made this sale, but I really messed up on this. Generally, you should do that, but generally we don't. We don't say, hey, Marsh, customer hit me with this. I kind of, got through it, but it really didn't come out good. So for the next time, what can I do? But I made a sale. Generally, what do you normally do? You go on to the next sale because you say, I made a sale. But your losses, man, are your natural coaches where they actually can analyze those things. But the only way, dude, I can't stress that enough. The only way that you're going to be able to analyze that is when you put some handles on that thing. Think about this. Imagine if you're with a friend and, you guys are walking along and all of a sudden your friend says, I forgot to get something out of this store. Hey, hold my stuff for me. I'll be right back. And so they take all of their stuff that y'all been on this shopping spree. They take all of their bags and everything. They hand them to you and you wait outside while they run in the store real quick. What do? you're standing there holding on to their stuff, right? So you're holding on to the stuff and you're frozen capital. You're not doing anything. You're just frozen. You can't use any of your hands. You can't use anything. You just stand there until they come back. That's exactly what we do with the losses. It's as if an unfriendly friend, it's as if life, the friend, comes by and says, hey, hold this loss, but I'll be back in a year or a decade or so. And so, I don't know why I keep saying generally today. Usually what we do is, so when we get the losses, man, it's like life hands you all these bags and all you're doing is you're just holding on to them. You're not doing anything. You're frozen capital. You're not doing anything. And so when an opportunity comes by, you're not even available for the opportunity because you're holding the losses. You're just standing there holding them. And so whatever little opportunity comes by, either it's not very good or it's just what? Another loss, and it gets lumped on top until it gets so heavy, man, the bottom breaks out, you can't hold anymore, and everything, man, gets demolished. You've got to learn how to handle the losses. And so what you've got to be able to do is when life hands you a loss, handle it. And so if you put some handles on that thing and you process it and you say next, when you put handles on the loss, what that's going to do is you're able to, and I'm using this on the video, so I'm going to have to describe this to you. You're able to actually handle the loss often with one hand. But what it does is it frees me up with the other hand, and with my full focus with my left hand, man, I'm handling one loss. With my right hand and all of my intelligence and my focus and my grit and my effort, man, I've got a free hand. I've got free resources, and so I'm looking for the next win. So when the opportunity comes, here's the advantage when you can handle a loss. When the opportunity comes, I can handle it with one hand, but if I need both, what do? I have the handles on that loss. I can sit the loss down and say, look, bro, I'll be right back. I'm not done with you yet. I can sit it down and I can use both hands and say, come on, let's deal with this thing. Let's get that win. And then once I win, or whatever the circumstances are, then I can come back. I can yank that loss off the shelf again and say, now, what was that you were talking about? And then I can start looking at it again and finding out where's the disconnect. What resources do I need to, where am I missing it? What knowledge do I need to apply to those things? See, that's a difference, man. See how different that is? When you can no longer, just like win or lose, man, good or bad, learn to handle it. Don't hold it, man. And so generally is the word of the day. And so usually what we do, man, is we sit there and we hold the losses. You wouldn't hold a win. So why hold the loss? Next, good or bad. Bro, put in your mind today, everything is next. Win or lose, good or bad. Next, handle it. Don't hold it. Remember, never settle. Keep selling your way through life no matter what. Have an amazing day. Stay in the sales.